Good morning. Happy Tuesday and welcome to the Morning Reset live at 9 a.m. So good to see you here this morning. I am Chelsea from chelseajohnsonayurveda.com, and today we're talking about our unique mind-body patterns and how those affect our sleep. And so before we get into that, let's go ahead and settle in together. Wherever you are, coming into a comfortable seated position, both feet on the floor, hands in the lap. Your back is back firmly against the back of the seat if you're lying down, resting on the earth beneath you. Maybe the hands resting comfortably on the lap, the belly. And close your eyes. Or if that doesn't feel good, softening the gaze. Taking an inhale in, maybe parting the lips slightly with a sigh out. And once more, inhale in and a sigh out. Beginning to settle into your body this morning. Settle into your day. And bring one hand to your heart. And notice the feel of each of the 5 fingertips over the heart. Noticing the touch. Is it a light touch? Maybe it's a little bit more forceful of a touch. Notice the temperature of the fingertips on your skin. Then move the palm so you begin to feel your heartbeat. And noticing your heartbeat this morning. Is the heartbeat bounding? Is it faint? Can you feel it? Is it strong? And then notice your breath. Notice where the breath naturally goes. Is it more towards the upper chest, middle belly, lower belly? Are the breaths deep or shallow? All of this is just information for you to gauge where you are this morning. Nothing to change, nothing to fix. Just checking in wherever you are. And then in your mind's eye, bring forth an image, a word, a person, a pet. Just one thing that you're grateful for today. And see that person, that thing, whatever it is in your mind's eye. One thing that you have gratitude for today before your day gets going. Then let that image go away. Bring the hand back down to the lap or by your side. Slowly opening up the eyes, taking in the light, the space, the room all around you. And let me know in the comments how that landed for you. I already feel a little bit calmer starting off my day. So this morning I am drinking my aloe vera juice mixed with a little bit of cranberry juice and some water. And aloe vera really is something we want to lean on in the summertime, help reduce that internal heat and help us deal more with the heat outside, right? Especially where I am, we've been in a heat advisory warning. So trying to do all of the things to help the body stay cooler naturally. So mind body patterns. What are they? And how do they relate to sleep? Well, in Ayurveda, all of us have a unique mind-body pattern that we are born with. And these patterns that we're born with affect everything in our life. It affects how we heal, how we react, how we digest food, and how we sleep. And so the three patterns in Ayurveda are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, right? But there's also three pillars of health in Ayurveda, right? The first is food. Then we have sex or energy. And the third is sleep. And Ayurveda says, if you can figure these three things out, then all the rest of the issues will sort themselves out. And so I used to really focus on the digestion piece. That's how I got involved in Ayurveda many years ago. It's what my first clients came to me with, was a lot of digestion issues. But what I've discovered over time is that if we don't have good sleep, then we don't have good digestion, we don't have nourishing meals, and if we don't have good sleep, then we usually have more strained relationships, more strained energy within us, and energy in relationship to others. So, what are the three patterns and how do they show up in what our sleep looks like? Well, we have the Vata pattern, right? And if we're a Vata sleep pattern, it might show up as someone who is a light sleeper, someone who gets woken up by just the slightest movement or noise or light in the room, right? These are also tend to be the patterns that toss and turn, that have insomnia, that wake up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep. These also might be the people who have vivid dreams. I remember when I was so anxious at different times throughout my life, I would just have the most vivid dreams of being chased, of things burning down, of just all kinds of movement. And that movement is just showing what is happening within the body, what the imbalance is. And so that can be a classic Pitta pattern. And Vata pattern. And for our Pitta patterns, these are the people that tend to get the second wind at night and can't get to sleep before midnight, right? They are just driven. They are up late doing the thing that has to get done. These tend to be the people who can fall asleep pretty well, right? Sometimes they might wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes they won't, and if they do, they usually can fall right back asleep. And then we have the kappa pattern. And the kappa pattern are those who go to sleep or they wake up and they're still tired, right? They can sleep 12 hours and still want to go back to bed. And these are the 3 unique sleep patterns. And so the first step is to recognize which one that you might be. And then from there, we can begin to work with what your unique pattern is, what is happening within your body. Because our sleep is affected by what's happening in the nervous system, and the nervous system is affected by our 3 unique patterns. It's affected by the balance of pitta, kapha, and vata within our body. And once we begin to recognize that, once we begin to recognize what might be out of balance, then we can begin to incorporate practices to bring it into balance. So what are some things that you can do regardless of what pattern you're in to help get better sleep? And the first thing is to limit screen time, limit stimulation at least 30 minutes before bedtime. And I know it's hard, right? It's one of the hardest ones for me, is to put down the screen for at least 30 minutes. No Netflix binges at night, right? Or if you are going to do a Netflix binge, perhaps put the screen on red screen, right? Because we want to reduce the stimulation that comes in through the eyes. The eyes are a seat of pitta, they're a seat of production. And so we want to begin to bring that stimulation down, to begin to tell the body that we can transition into a more restful time. So, no screens, at least 30 minutes before bed, no Netflix binges, no Instagram scrolling, right? We also want to keep wherever we are a little bit cooler. The body rests and sleeps more deeply in a cool environment. Another thing that we can do is that the body runs on rhythm, right? It runs on a circadian clock. And so one of the things that we can do in the morning is wake up with the sunrise or wake up within 1 hour of the sunrise, which begins to tell the body that it's time to get the day started. And then actually, if you're kapha, you want to wake up at least an hour before the sunrise, right? I know you might hate that, but it's getting the body to get out of that stagnation mode. And one of the other things that we can do is watch the sunset at night. That sunset light that tells the body internally that the evening is coming, that it's time to transition into rest mode. Similarly, the candles lit within your sleep space signal as well to the body that it is evening time, that it's time to transition into sleep mode. One other thing that we can do is eat before the sun goes down. Sometimes when we eat too late at night, we're giving the body too much to digest and deal with before we sleep. And so if we eat too close to when we fall asleep, and the body is just taking on this extra load, and it can disrupt our sleep cycle. And so all of these things you can begin to incorporate into your routine without really addressing anything else. You know, sometimes, especially for vata patterns, there's so much happening in the mind. It can be really useful to journal or meditate or do a breathing practice before bedtime to really get all of the thoughts that are running in the mind onto the paper. And that way the mind doesn't have to think about them and ruminate on them as you're sleeping. And so these are just a few quick tips that you can begin to incorporate possibly this evening for better sleep without really changing anything that you are doing in a drastic way. And I wish you good sleep. Let me know in the comments which thing that you choose, which pattern you think you might be. And if you're curious how these patterns might be affecting your body, your stress levels, I've created something just for you. It's the Hidden Signs of Burnout Body Checklist. I've linked it in the description, and this might be showing you how your patterns are affecting your body in digestion, in sleep, in sex, in energy. And I hope to see you again next Tuesday at 9. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I will see you here next week. Be well and nourished.